But first, a few holy mackerel stories in today's news. The Pied Piper of the birther movement, the dentist/lawyer/real estate broker Orly Taitz, has an antagonistic relationship with just about everybody who doesn't buy into the Mr. Obama isn't really the president theory.
Orly, your allegation here is that Barack Obama's family was somehow motivated to lie to Hawaii officials, including Orly. You got to give me a second here. I just want to understand.
Don't let me finish. No, Orly, I don't, because you are unable to listen. I didn't even get to the newspapers. Let me explain. Your listeners need to know the truth. They're sick of the lies coming from the mainstream media.
Okay. But Dr. Tait's conflict is not simply the story of one woman's own personal reality, birther fantasy against the mainstream media. There is also Orly Taitz versus the California Bar Association, Orly Taitz versus her own client, and Orly Taitz versus Judge Clay Land. And in this round, it's Judge Land 1, Queen of the Birthers 0. For weeks now, U.S. District Court Judge Clay Land, a Bush appointee, has been warning Taitz to stop filing erroneous, frivolous lawsuits questioning President Obama's place of birth. And now push has come to shove. Judge Land has slapped Orly Taitz with a $20,000 fine. Quote, the clerk's office was burdened by Ms. Taitz' inability to follow the court's rules. At the hearing, counsel failed to make coherent legal arguments, but instead wasted the court's time with press conference sound bites and speeches. Taitz told Talking Points memo that she has no intention of actually paying the fine, choosing instead to ignore the court's order, much in the way she has ignored the record of President Obama's birth. Next up, this weekend was a real mixed bag for gay rights advocates. On the one hand, there was the largest gay rights march in Washington in a decade, and there was the president speaking to a gay rights group promising to repeal the government's practice of firing openly gay people in the armed forces. And on the other hand, there was no actual action, no real movement from the White House to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. If only there were some momentum for repeal. Perhaps advocates would settle for some Joe-mentum instead. Yeah, that's right. According to The Advocate, Senator Joe Lieberman is in conversations with the White House and may lead the charge against Don't Ask, Don't Tell and become the point man on the bill. Perhaps because Lieberman carries a lot of weight. He was a vice presidential candidate, don't forget. He serves on the Armed Services Committee, and he's the most senior member of his one-man political party, the Connecticut for Lieberman Party. No word on what his BFFs in the Republican Party who don't like DADT think about his potential new gig. And finally, Jailbreak Toys is the maker of the President Obama action figures. They've sold more than 200,000 of them. So what does the company have in the works, hoping to surpass those formidable sales? Who is more popular than Barack Obama? Michelle Obama, of course. That's right. Move over, Christy, Barbie's only black friend. The toy maker is making the dolls with 3 outfit choices based on real-life choices worn by the First Lady. They will be small, just about 6 inches, and cost less than $15. Now, this is not a figurine, but an action figure. Assuming the First Lady has not been given a kung fu grip, one might assume that the plastic version is capable of a fist bump, and I would assume a very powerful index finger.